it's time to answer some of your questions in the weekly Ask Guillem feature. And we're going to be talking about Liverpool and Chelsea, Yarney and Coventry, and a few other things. So let's start. Sec Biggleswade U. That means Secretary of Biggleswade United. That's a question from Tracy, our secretary. And it's a good question. He says, given the strengths of the two teams on Saturday, who do you think has the most potential to shine in the Chelsea versus Liverpool fixture? And she's talking about Mo Salah or Hazard. And it is a difficult one because it will depend on, obviously, these two, they shine where the individual talent can have the opportunity to make an impact. And individual talent, it obviously depends mostly on the collective. The collective makes the individuals better. And what I see is a Liverpool that benefits Salah, and Salah adapted to the collective in a way that Hazard doesn't. But Hazard can produce magic. What I mean by that is that I think Sarri is quite, in a way, frustrated that in Hazard he's got a player that, yes, of course, he can do magic stuff. But I feel that Sarri thinks he could be even better if he stick to the system a little bit more. Because right now, Hazard, being as he is a free man, he likes to appear everywhere. Sarri would like it to be more structured attack, because then the influence of Hazard will be in the areas that the collective will allow him to shine, if you know what I'm trying to say. The collective helps the individual. So because that's the case, I feel that Salah in these kind of games, in the big games, will have a bigger influence than Hazard. But Hazard will have moments of magic as well. That will depend on how he feels on the day, if he manages to get the dribbling going, if he sees an opportunity to attack. But it won't be so much depending on the collective helping Hazard. I'm making a long answer because I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. But that's an interesting thing that I've discussed with a coach just yesterday about the influence of Hazard for Chelsea. Could be even better, Sarri feels, if he adapted more to the system. Let's go to other ones, like Ewan Hawthorne 1, in which he says about Eden Hazard as well, has widely re-entered the world's best player conversation. Where does he rank for you, and will his current form make a Madrid bid inevitable? As you know, Hazard tried to go to Real Madrid in the summer. It didn't happen. They didn't go for him. In fact, Real Madrid have not signed a Galáctico since James Rodriguez was signed. When was that? 2014? So it is not a target straight away, because they felt that they have in Asensio, somebody that can fill that gap. Asensio, Bale, and Benzema. It feels to me that Real Madrid struggles and will struggle and have difficulties for that extra mile that Cristiano Ronaldo gave them in big games. And to be honest, this year they have shown to be a lesser team with the bigger guns when they had to face Atletico Madrid in the European Super Cup. When they had to play Athletic Bilbao in San Mamés, it was only a draw, and they lost against Sevilla. The three big games, they failed because that extra bit that Cristiano adds, it's missing now. So Hazard can fill that gap. So if things don't work well here, we won't see Lopetegui for long at Real Madrid, and we will see Real Madrid looking around for the best players available. And we know that Hazard wants to go to Real Madrid at some point. So I wouldn't say it's inevitable, but I say it's likely. We'll have to see. Hasn't happened yet, though. Mason Heddlehy, he says, Aaron Ramsey to La Liga or Serie A, any updates? I would like Aaron Ramsey to come to La Liga. Right now, there's interest for Serie A for him. He'll have to have a big cut in wages, but I think he's willing to have a new challenge, and it'll be interesting if he does either one or the other. La Liga haven't got the kind of money that he will demand. And I do feel that the big guns in Serie A are actually making effort for players like him. If I hear anything, I'll let you know, but that's how things are at the moment. Theo, which is at T3090, he says, a Juve fan, and he says, I'd like to know your opinion on Ronaldo's start in Italy and why you feel he's not having an instant impact in Turin. I think he has had an instant impact in many senses than one. If you're talking about goals, well, it's not a huge amount of goals, but give him time. One thing that is worrying perhaps is he wants to play everything. Allegri wanted to take him off at the weekend against Bologna, and he didn't want to come off. Now, that is not a great sign, because one thing that Zidane managed to get from him is to rest in games. Right now, he doesn't want to rest, because right now he wants to score, and he will score. I don't agree when people say it's harder to score goals in Italy. I just think he's got to get used to his teammates, and vice versa. A lot of the time he plays too wide on the left-hand side as he used to. That's not where he will have his biggest impact right now. Biggest impact means scoring goals. He has not done that regularly, but he will. So give him time. He's doing all the right things. He's shaking off a little bit his anxiety, not fully. The sooner he does that, the more goals he will score. Phil is saying, if you were to buy one player on Football Index, who would it be and why? Marco Asensio, because I see a potential there, especially now that as in this week, having played a bad game at the weekend against Sevilla, disappeared completely. People say, oh, he perhaps won't find the confidence and the continuity that makes him a superstar. And I think he will. He's going to have the opportunity to do it at Real Madrid, and I think he will take it. Others are doubting. So perhaps now that he's doubting is a good time to buy him, and the shares will grow. I think they will. Dan Mele has given an interesting approach to the Gianni conspiracy story. Well, he says, was there any truth in this Gianni conspiracy? Gianni initially moved to Coventry for £2.6 million from Betis. Real Madrid then bought him for Coventry for 3.4. Some believed it was a joint Coventry and Real tactic, as Betis refused to sell him to Real Madrid club. I don't believe it was a tactic. I believe that he changed his mind. And it had to do with his family as well. He had to do with his wife. They sat down and they said, what do you think? And they felt that, they didn't want to go to England. Wife didn't. So he had more to do with that than anything. But I tell you what, I'll make a call or two and see if I can get more on it, because that's my understanding of what happened. Danny Boy is asking, do you think Liverpool has what it takes to win the Premiership this year? Absolutely. Absolutely. And helped by the fact that Manchester City, having won, is always harder to win again. It's always harder to do the things that took you there for that first time. And for that group of people, it was the first time that won the Premier League. Not all the players, but as a group. And obviously the manager, it was the first time. The second time, when you're still asking the same and more, because especially Liverpool follow with so much pace and strength, then you have to do those things and more. And we will see, because obviously I still feel that City are favourites, but I do think that Liverpool are going to take them down to the wire and down to the end. And yes, they have everything that it requires. There will be up and downs for Liverpool, and you cannot see where the downs are going to come from. Perhaps at a time where there is more games and perhaps one or two injuries. You cannot predict that. But Liverpool have got right now what it takes: strength in depth, a goalkeeper, the ability not to concede goals. They will always score. What a complete team, and what a joy it is to go to Anfield for Liverpool fans. Now, last one is from Darth Barthen, who says, hi Guillem, what is your take on Morata? Seems to be set for another very subpar season, and it's not even second choice for Spain. What are people in Spain thinking about him, and what kind of style is best suited to his game? For me, it's counter-attacking football. He's not good with his back to goal, or not as good, and it's his pace what you have to take advantage of. But for Morata, the biggest thing is confidence. I think he will always be a striker that once he hits the first goal and another one comes and another one comes until something affects his confidence. And right now he's low in confidence. You can see that. And it is a shame, because he's got quality, he's got the right attitude in training. Mental strength is something he's got to develop. I think he's got the ability to do so, but right now it is a blip that he's going to have to come out by himself, because Sarri is giving him confidence. Perhaps, as I said, he'd be better suited to, say, Atletico Madrid, which he had the chance to go to, than this this Chelsea, but as they break with pace as well a lot of the time, you should see more of Morata and a more effective Morata. Wait until he scores 1 or 2 goals. You may see a different Morata, but he's got to get the continuity that as far as yet he hasn't been able to have. So that was Ask Guillem this week. Remember, subscribe, tell your friends and family that we're here, and there will be more coming in this YouTube channel. So I hope that to see you here and to hear more from you. See you later. Bye.